Hi, I'm Dan Larson, and this is 1994's Daily Bugle Playset in 4 minutes or less. First of all, to the guy who I purchased this from who described it as complete, it is not complete. It's missing the dumpster, 2 gargoyles, the web rope housing, the water tower, and the slime that goes in the water tower. I'll be seeing you again in the feedback forum. Item not as described. But I already broke part of it, so I don't need a refund. Second, 1994 Toybiz, what the hell? Standing 20 inches tall on a flat base that is roughly 11 inches by 26 inches, the Daily Bugle playset is made from mustard-colored plastic and a gloss finish cardboard that is only slightly stronger than the box it came in. Described on the box as the modular world of Spider-Man, it features a giant robotic spring-loaded octopus tentacle sticking out of a building, a glob-filled water tower and dumpster, so it's a glob tower, not a water tower, a crank-powered buzzsaw, retractable Spider-Man web, and of course the most important elements in a playset, an elevator and a trap door. All it's missing to be considered for the Playset Hall of Fame is a jail cell and its dignity. What it actually is, for toys I have a negative first impression of, I try to look at through the eyes of 12-year-old Dan, who had a much lower threshold for what was fun in a toy. Unlike Josh Baskin's, 12-year-old Dan would have enjoyed playing with a skyscraper that transforms into a robot. However, I can't help but see this Daily Bugle playset from the perspective of the parent who would have had to assemble this craft project back in 1994. It's such a frustrating task that I called my father and apologized to him retroactively for having to assemble a playset that I never asked for nor owned. Do you understand what I'm saying? This playset is so bad that assembling it literally fractured my universe, creating a parallel dimension where my father and I have unresolved issues over a Christmas present from 1994. I'm a pretty smart guy. I went to a very prestigious state college in upstate Rhode Island. I know how to follow instructions, and this thing had me cursing my interest in toys while trying to assemble it. I don't blame the designers who made the instructions. They did the best with what they had, but it seemed like some of the pieces weren't even manufactured to the right dimensions. The clips that are supposed to hold the whole thing together simply do not work. It's like they approved and manufactured the styrofoam mock-up of what the playset was going to look like, the one that the design team takes into the big meeting to try to sell the idea. If you ever wonder what it's like to work in a Chinese factory assembling crappy toys for American children, now's your chance, except that this playset was made in the USA. La, 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 la. There it is, that explains it. I can't be totally negative, there are some nice details here, mostly in the artwork on the cardboard pieces. You can make out lots of newspaper headlines calling Spider-Man a menace, a wanted poster for Venom, and various other words like death and cha-cha spray painted on the side of buildings to really give it that grimy lived-in New York feeling. It practically smells like urine in armpits. The whole playset is a vignette of the Daily Bugle in New York City, and they incorporated as many visual cues as possible. On the back you can see Doc Ock's lab, Venom's sewer hideout, and the Bugle press is cranking out today's edition of the newspaper. Kids, ask your parents about words on paper delivered to your door. And if I'm being totally honest, if 12-year-old Dan was on a family vacation and this thing had been at his grandmother's house and he had a couple of new figures, he would have found a way to make it work. Avoiding interaction with your relatives is the mother of invention. If you're in the market for a playset, leave this one for the next collector. Record time, yeah. Thanks for watching. Please like this video. We made it for you. Now do the things for us. Do these things for us. Subscribe, check out our other videos, share them, and lastly, my advice for Spider-Man, stay away from the building with the giant robotic octopus tentacle sticking out of it. Okay. Do we have outtakes on end slates?